Now, I want to start by saying that now a leader is actually from the word leader, and that during the Viking ship, a leader is the one that leads the raiding when they go as pirates and so on. So that word leader was the original meaning. I looked around the literature. I found out that was the original meaning of the word leader. Lode, the one that leads the Viking ship. Now, the dictionary, honor dictionary describes the leader as one who's in charge, a person who convinces other people to follow. Now, recently I was doing an exam in the college, and they told us a very great Nigerian minister in the federal government. And they said the man left, and he said he never knew this was how the federal government is. That is so terrible to succeed. And so some of the residents and others came to me and said, it's very serious. I said, well, that one, I don't believe is testimonial. The reason is that leaders are put there to change things. When a leader comes to a place to talk about the problem, they are well not taking the position of leadership. When we identify a problem, we look for a leader to solve it. We don't look for a leader to accentuate it. So, a leader inspires people so that they can achieve. Now, Peter Drucker is, I'll call the leading management expert, guru of experts in that Nigeria of 90, though the Britons and the Americans recognize it. See that the only definition of a leader is someone who has followers. And that has both a positive and a negative connotation. Now, briefly, because everyone there is really great and a position, but it's a very big difference between a manager and a leader. A manager sustains the status quo. A leader propels the people forward. You call leaders when there's crisis. You call managers to manage stability. A manager is stable and control, command and control. He follows processes. He manages the team. He carries memos. He sacks. He demotes. But a leader adapts and inspires. He takes risk. He guides through change. So when we need managers to maintain the status quo, we need leaders when there is crisis. There is a quotation here, and it's quite instructive. He said, the dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high and difficult, and we must rise with the occasion. Regardless of the crisis in the nation, regardless of the progress in the nation, we call on a leader. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. We must disenthrall ourselves, and then we shall save our country. Indirectly was saying we must break away from the old paradigm that kept us where we are. Albert Einstein also said that we can never solve a present problem for the paradigm that got you there. You must get a new paradigm, a new set of thinking to solve the problem. And so a manager cannot actually lead. Our training as physicians, our training in academia teaches us to manage. We are taught to honor the status quo. In fact, to adore the status quo. But leaders question the status quo. What is an appointment? An appointment is a job, is a formal assigning, selecting, or designating a person to a specific, usually non-elected position in office. It is also refers to the job or position itself, taking up an appointment, or the person chosen to fill that role. Many factors go into appointment. Some is meritocracy, some is favoritism, some is ethnicity, but whatsoever gets a person there, that is an appointment. Now, so an appointment means that the person has authority, the person expectations expected of him, the person has a trust, they trust you, he gave you to be vice chancellor of this university because we trust you. You say be the president of this country because we trust you. And then it means responsibility. Now, an appointment means your role is recognized. You are selected in a position to lead. It is visible, celebrated, and often hard-earned. Some people spend more celebrating an appointment. But appointment by itself is only an event. It doesn't mean anything. It just talks to you about the history we have and the assignment you could have in the future. Impact. Now, having been editor of our journal for 8 years, I took over the journal for about 2-3 years. We have now published one article. But up to last year, for the past 5 years, we have been publishing every month, making it the only journal in Africa that has consistently published every month. And I kept saying that each time I say we are thinking about impact, the world has changed. You know, now we have Facebook, we have Instagram, so the role of the classical publication is gradually diminishing. Because in a few moments, something is out, you don't need the journals to tell you. Before the journals tell you, the Karen Next has told you, the internet has told you, Facebook has told you. So a journal must adapt to changes. It must undergo metamorphosis. So impact is not static. So if I see somebody has impact, that thing should impact him as a person, naturally. It should also lead to significance. There are successes that are not significant. I told you that the most disciplined thing is a CV, because it lines what you have. It don't tell you how you did with what you had. Then, systems. How far has this person dealt with systems? How has it influenced people? That's why I like what a person. So I've got told the need to influence people. And I can tell you this. Because Arogundade has come to my house to ask about my residents. You know, he's so concerned about, and I know he's so much intertwined with the Chancellor, because many times you see I'm going there, I'm checking on, so you can see that it's not just, the mentorship is not just technical, it is holistic. Now, it's also outcome, because this outcome can be measured. Then it also tells us where the institution is going, where the direction of the institution is going. Now, it is not announced, it is demonstrated. It is not given, it is end over time. It is measurable and should be sustainable. You can appoint a person, but you can't appoint an impact. Now, one of the greatest books by my own standard, and I've read hundreds of books on leadership, was a book written by Jim Collins. Jim Collins actually changed the thinking. I was in a lecture in Chicago when he met the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs. And he was saying that when he got to Apple's house, it took a long time for him to get to Apple. Kept on picking and booking and booking. Then when he got to Apple, to Steve Jobs' house, he found out there were no furniture at Steve Jobs' house. No settees. You only saw small, some chairs, and they ate on the floor. So he said, I noticed that this man had one passion, Apple. And every other thing didn't matter. Now, Steve Jobs, in writing this book to Great, and I advise you to read it, he said he looked at in America the good companies. And then listed a lot of criteria within the good and great companies. So when he said the enemy of the great is the good. Now, I have all this board of statistics, but because I know we are pressured with time, I removed everything. Now, he studied these companies, why they were great. And you can see this study. You find that there was a wide difference between the good companies and between the great companies. You can see the gap is so wide. So there's a big gap between the good principal of an institution and the great principal of that institution. Now, he found out that in that research, he found out that several companies that were great were not asking the question, what? They were asking the question, who? Now, by doing that, he has changed the thinking of over 1,000 years. Because management have only been taught us that is vision, is mission. Every management book talks about mission, vision, values, mission statement. But the fact that that is not what you require. He said, it's not where the boss is going, but who is driving the bus. And that is what they found in the series of research they did. Now, he now gave us a sketch of the level 4 leaders. The level 4 leaders will say, where are we going? What is our vision? Then they get somebody who is who. But the level 5 leaders identify a person, a leader, who now gives the people direction. Yes, he has something to work with, but he has something more than that. Then he now goes on to ask the second question, what is involved? Now, Winston Churchill, who led America through crisis. So recently, I was talking to our HOD, not according to HOD, the other person, he said, everybody has left. I said, you should go and read the book of Henry Truman, that greatness is known in the times of crisis. That you have to change the format of medicine and the format of organization in crisis. Now, Winston Churchill said the price of greatness is responsibility. That is acting with ability rather than acting with disability. Now, what is the nature of appointment? Now, there are several people who have discussed the nature of appointment. One, appointment, so the issue is not appointment. The issue is effectiveness after appointment. The issue is not, many are elevated, but few are only impactful. Many assume office, but few transform it. An appointment is not recognition. It is responsibility under scrutiny. So if you are recognized, I mean, before I said everything about that now, the bar is very high. People are only going to talk about his history. They're going to talk about his present and his future. When an appointment is viewed as recognition, we treat it as a reward for past behavior. This crosses a dangerous setting. It's called a trap of recognition. Now, the trap of recognition means ownership of failure. You feel you are barren, leading to complacency. You feel the organization owes you this position because of your history, rather than feeling you owe the organization a future result. Recognition is backward looking. It celebrates what you have done. Responsibility is forward looking. It demands what you will do. The weight of responsibility through appointment is the delegation of trust. It is less about the title at the door and more about the burden of outcomes. Now, the weight of responsibility has two factors, even more than two factors. The ego before. Now, in a position of responsibility, you no longer have the luxury of blaming the system. You are the system. Then we have the resource stewardship. You are now the gatekeeper of time, money, and human talent. Every decision you make has a compounding effect on those under you or in charge. So, as a matter of fact, you don't come and say, oh, I've got this appointment. I never knew that you have to go to Abuja to collect money. I never knew that you have to keep paying politicians money. No, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. Accepting the problem doesn't mean anything. You are going to work on that problem and turn it. You are going to take that mess and turn it into a message. Then the reality of scrutiny. You see, appointment always provoke envy. The more than that, it also provokes a lot of criticisms. And both your friends will pray for you. Your enemies will look for your downfall. So that scrutiny will continue to happen. The higher the appointment, the higher the spotlight, and the narrower the margin of error. You are not allowed to fail. With special reference to Professor Arogundade, the Chancellor will not allow you to fail. I mean, I've worked with him before, you know, and I know what I'm saying. We will listen. You don't have any reason to fail. Now, there's the internal security, it's the internal scrutiny. Your peers and subordinates are watching to see if your actions align with the values that will get you appointed. They will come to the university. They will hear from students. They will hear from workers. Then there is the external scrutiny. Stakeholders, clients, or the public evaluate your performance, not based on your potential, but on your immediate output. Then there is the transparency issue. As you gain power, your privacy decreases. The off-the-record comments and minor lapses in judgment are amplified by the less of your new authority. So the fact that any little thing you do is amplified. Then, what is the relative of scrutiny? An appointment doesn't mean you are better than others. It means you are now more answerable to them. If the recognition provides the platform, scrutiny provides the polish. Facts to consider. 70% of transformation efforts fall due to the weak leadership execution. It isn't a lack of knowledge that leads to unsuccessful actions. It is leadership. Our nation is leadership. The resources are there, everything is there, it is leadership. Now, there's a study that showed that 30 to 50%, and that was of new executives, fail to build key relationships. Relationship is everything. Being too slow to learn the organizational culture, neglecting to clarify role expectations. I went to examine somewhere, and two of my small colleagues, one particular one, said, we had the vice chancellor position here, and we are going to force it on you. And he said, whether you like it, we will force it on you. So I didn't say anything. So I told those who were close to him. I said, yes, being a chief examiner doesn't mean I can be a vice chancellor. I may have the ability to be a vice chancellor, but to play vice chancellorship in this particular place, I will need to undergo through many rules. And going through many rules and roles, I may end up being a different person. I've not studied it, I've not talked about it, I can't take it. And then when they go back to him, he got it, and I left it like that. There's what we call the glasshouse effect. Now, in the glasshouse effect, before you think that it is those people inside that place, these are them that you are looking at, that are important. But with time, you now know that it's no more them. It is you. It is us. It's our team. You know what I mean? You can't tell me they're getting late. You can't tell me they're always judgmental. It's you. And that's why you have got the leader. It's a role that means that you have to change things. You have to get water out of stone. So ideally, positions are not an enviable thing. It's a calling for a higher commitment. Now, cultural stewardship. You see the primary guardian are the company's values. You are not the primary guardian. If there is a gap between what the company says and what it does, the scrutiny will fall squarely on your shoulders. Simple. Oh, I sacked this, I sacked that. It will not be the thing. You know, leadership is not just sacking people. Leadership is trying to transform the culture, to transform the thinking, to sell your dogma, to sell your values, to sell your philosophy, and to win combats to your way you want to go. Now, I will also end this talk because I have to cut almost 1/3 of it. Professor Erhabor told me that it's 20 minutes, so I will try to be fast. I think there is something we need to know. How do we now move from recognition to responsibility? Now, when it comes to recognition, I have earned this office through hard work. Responsibility says, I am a steward to the people for a limited time. Recognition says, I need to prove I am the smartest in the room. He says, I need to share the best ideas, I need to ensure the best ideas in the room survives, whether I'm the one that brought it or others. and give those who brought it the ownership. Success is meeting my key performance indicators. No, success is the long-term health of the entire enterprise. Feedback is about my performance. No, feedback is a diagnostic process of the organizational health. So you ask for it, you demand it, formally and informally. Leadership means having the answers. No, leadership means asking the right questions. Now, there was a book talking about some of the great geniuses of the world. And they said, when the children of these great men come and say, I had A's in all my subjects, the fathers are not impressed. We have A's. And they start going, why are you not impressed? I said, no, we don't just want you to have A's. We want you to question the question. We want you to think through the question. We want you to look at the assumption that gave you this question and see whether it is even necessary. And now that we're taught right from childhood to always think creatively, to move forward and to think further. Now, recognition is I must protect my reputation. No, I must protect the institutional credibility. My values come from visibility and recognition. No, your value comes from the enabling others to succeed. I need to control outcome directly. No, I need to build systems that sustain results. I mean, there's no point saying you are a leading person, and then you leave and things collapses. Challenges threaten my authority. No, challenges improve decision making and resilience. You know, you can tell a lot of story about resilience, passion for a long time, and now your mindset, whether it is fixed or your mindset is a growth mindset, can actually help you or demean you. I should avoid mistake at all costs. No, you should learn quickly and adapt to responsibility. And own the mistakes. People should follow me because of my title. People should trust me because of my integrity. The focus is my career advancement. No, the focus is succession, continuity, and impact. So you now move from individual thinking to institutional thinking. You now move from ego to everybody, from a me mentality to a we mentality. You now move from being a boss to becoming a servant. That is what leadership means. The title doesn't make you a leader. It's how you transform that title to the lives of the people and the lives of the institution. Now, I'm going to a few slides and close. Now, I try to summarize this. I need to get out a big point. The first one is, we must have to envision a new world. There's a quotation here which hopefully I will be able to get soon. Helen Keller said, the most pathetic person in the world is someone who has, the most pathetic person in the world is not someone who has no sight, but someone who has sight but no vision. The Quran says, if you don't know where you are going, any road will take you there. So eventually you have to envision something. Then, apart from envision something, you must exceed expectations. Because when they appoint you at a certain level, they don't want you to perform at that same level. Then you must embrace challenges and with courage and resilience. Don't keep talking about it. Don't keep saying you went to Abuja, there was no money. Don't keep telling me that the senator asked you to give you 3/4 of the budget. Not long ago, I was in the house of an owner of investing. And then the owner of that investing, big man, called the vice chancellor. Oh, he said, this student so bad. And the vice chancellor called me, I am handing over the vice chancellorship to you now. I said, all right, you try it. Then I went back, because we were classmates in school. I said, don't ever think of that. I said, because I know that when I become the vice chancellor of the university, somebody will call me one day and say, look, I'm going to London now with my wife and children. Please, can you book a first class ticket? I've been trying to get the bossa, but he's not around. But I feel I can get faster to you. Will I do that? I said, I won't do that. So there's no point thinking about that. But when I take it, I don't argue. I don't argue because I'm taking it. And so I have to find a way to navigate that system. Then you have to empower people. Everything about leadership is about others, not you. Now today we are honoring you. not because you set out to make us homo you. That question was asked, were you doing this because you expected something? I know that question may not be obviously answered yes or no, but I think you are not doing it because of that. Look at the diverse world who came in. Because you have honored them, because you have influenced them a long time, so empower people. There's what they call reciprocal mentorship. People mentor you, then you reverse the mentorship and mentor them too. Then don't be ethically challenged. Because when your weak points are seen, they will get it. But you are not God. You have your weaknesses. Own it when it comes. Ask for forgiveness and move forward. Be committed to continuous learning. Eternal student. Medicine occupies all our brain, occupies all our time. I tell you that when I was in the medical school, I spent more time reading books of philosophy than reading medicine. Because I know that medicine actually destroys your skill in other fields. My son, after I attained to the highest of blessing, told me, I'm not going to do it. But medicine will destroy every capacity I have. You have to read. You have to read. Map out an exit strategy. Don't just stay. Right from now, be mapping out an exit strategy. What do you want to be like? How do you want to transfer? Then, embrace emerging technologies. You just cannot lead without your embracing emerging technology. Thank you so much. Now, AI is there and it's dominating the world. And there are many, many, many other modern technology. How good will it be to come to university 1 year and find that everything is technologically driven? A few months ago, I was in John Hopkins University or something. And I noticed that everything was technologically driven. Even the doctor's response to me has to work by technology. Then, keep your ego in check. You know, just keep it in check. Because people will know that this thing is all about you. Then, put everything in your life in order. Your family, your life, and your work. Somebody asked me, how are you being able to do all these things? I said, I don't manage my life simultaneously, I manage this sequentially. I said, every time I do certain things, I stop to ask you which part of my life is going on. Go home at the right time. Take 1 day in 7 days off. Your brain needs to rest. If you have to work 7 days to achieve, then you are not working. Take time to rest. Take time to sleep. Sleep scientists are telling us that the best time that the brain recovers is between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. So the earlier you go to bed, the better. Because it's the sustainability, it's a long journey, not just today. Then master emotional intelligence. I will not say a few things about this emotional intelligence. Now, EQ gets you through life. IQ gets you through school. Now, there are a lot of graphs that have been done comparing IQ and EQ. You know, people who have IQ, I think about 80, still or 70 years, IQ stores. Can increase it, can expand it. But emotional intelligence puts you to go. Your personality is fixed. So your personality, your IQ is fixed. But emotional intelligence continues to increase over time. Now, when you have IQ, you may be very good, but you have difficulty understanding emotions. And people feeling are more than what they think. Do not push my marriage. Somebody gave a story I was with, there was something done from Professor Von on last week, or this week, I think this week. And the woman said that it was the big meeting. I think it was a coronation, maybe a church of us. I said, who among you here does your wife not control? You are such a person. Let's talk about. Everybody came and said their wife controls them. Then they noticed that one man is sitting down. I said, careful, this man. This is the only man that the wife does not control. He said, no. My wife said I should sit down. So you must learn to manage emotions very well. It's not every time we use a brute force, we have to lose our mind. Now, benefits of EQ. The you average about 400 emotional experience every day. This makes emotional intelligence a fundamental skill. Researchers have shown that cognitive intelligence is responsible for only 20% of how you do in life. Being good in school doesn't make you good in life. Being a first-class student don't make you a first-class person in leadership on affairs of life. You can be academically smart and sleep dumb. And what makes you succeed is not the academic, it's how you deal with the emotions of life. EQ is the single highest predictor of performance and the strongest driver of leadership and professional excellence. Emotionally intelligent people make more money, an average of $30,000 more than people who are not emotionally intelligent. The link between EQ and earning is so strong that every point increase in EQ adds $1,300 to your annual salary. Now, you know that our brain determines how we think. And all the stimuli comes through the spinal cord and goes straight to the brain. But for it to go, it must pass through the limbic system. And the limbic system is involved in our emotions. And if there is no modulation of what we think, being guided by the limbic system, we just argue, this is fact. It's not fact alone. It's how I feel. This is the way. It's not the way alone. Or do I want the way? You know that somebody went to preach among those Eskimos. He said, if you continue like this, we'll go to hell, because hell is filled of hot death. We said we want to go to hell. We have been suffering from cold for a long time. Now, the central theme of emotional intelligence is this: know yourself, manage yourself. Know others, manage relationship, then produce results. Don't just know others, know how they feel. So when you want to make your decisions, you know yourself. Write what you are thinking. And perception is not always reality. And what you are thinking is not always the fact. Then know how others are feeling what you are thinking. And between those, what you think and what you manage, then come up with the results. Now, the great guru of emotional intelligence, Daniel Goleman, but also an Harvard scholar. Someone said, well, another scholar that foreseed it. But Goleman was the only one that gave us these 5 key things. It involves empathy, social skills, motivation, self-regulation, and self-awareness. Now, simply put, what is emotional intelligence? You have a personal competence. You cannot manage yourself, you can't manage anybody. Then you must have the social competence. Personal competence amounts you to have a self-awareness. One reason why we even came late for this meeting was that we were trying to, my instrument went up, so I was trying to charge it. And I said I put my charger, I forgot to be in Ife. So I was thinking of going to buy a new charger. But I found out they say 95, 100,000. I said, what is it I have at home? So now I said, maybe I should just call the iStore. I said, please, can I charge my phone? And they said, yes. And then somebody said, for you to go to the iStore, you can't go with your car, you have to get. So I said, right, call for both. And then when they called for code, and they came, and I told them, we don't need the bill because actually I saw another iStore that can do it. And the man was granting away. The man was posting that we must pay for everything. I couldn't understand. The man was about to beat us and everybody. I had to go, but yes, the Facebook will say, the professor is not fighting a person. You know, but that is how he feels. You know, I know in the US, you call the lead and you cancel, you just pay $1 or $2. And if you cancel between the second period, it's forgiven. But that's not how he thinks. And you must not believe that the way he thinks is the way you think. And so, you must have social awareness. How the society thinks. I told somebody, one of my students, reprimand somebody for coming late. And they go back to the head, sir. How are you doing, sir? How are you going, sir? Everything is, sir. I said reprimand. So you have to have a social awareness. Then, I want to get my final thoughts in order to close up. Own your responsibility. See it as an opportunity. Avoid offensive attitudes. Your office belongs to the institution, even your home. Your home. I know many times I've come to my Kishona's house. I sat down with them. I sat down with the wife to hear her talk. You know, it's our home. He said I met the daughter on her way. I just ran after me. She was going to, to Canada. And she was saying, I am married to management, I'm married to this, I'm married to that. I said, give me your car. I mean, that's it. It's a family, it's one family. Offload privately, don't throw tantrums. Everybody has problems. Everybody has solutions. God has no rights. So don't tell people, if you have progress at home, let it be at home. Don't announce it in public. Then few meetings, the fewer the meetings, the better. One of the most paralyzing things in academic is spontaneous meeting. Correct minutes before you come to the meeting. Don't start using 1 hour priority meeting. Meeting the Monday, meeting on Tuesday, meeting on Wednesday, meeting. People don't like it. If there have to be meetings, let it be precise, let it be edifying and engaging. I want to say something. One thing I liked, Professor Fellowship. We worked in the federal government committee, about 6 of us. And when we meet, Professor Fellowship is always very precise. If the meeting is 1 hour, he will be there for 1 hour. He will tell me, Greg, I'm meeting for 1 hour. Finish, you have lunch, he's going back to back. Years later, when he left it, and somebody else to copy his foot and says, sir, I just feel like leaving this group because I will miss a political possession. Later, when the federal government now called me and appointed me as one of the, board on national radio, I had to call him in the night, should I take this work? Because I found that this meeting, people meetings talk about nonsense. And I'm wasting, time is life. He said, take it, you can make a change. So please, don't let people see you meeting today, meeting tomorrow, meeting the other one. I get tired. Then, fewer meetings. Always have a meeting before the meeting. That will break people to it. Identify the key radicals in a meeting. Change your agenda. And when you meet and everything is open, remove the me concept. Don't monopolize meeting. Don't talk about yourself throughout. You know, your voice, it was said about them at, the great Badena. He said that when they told them about their chiefs, because the chiefs always talk last. So you don't talk about what do you think about. Let them talk. When you talk, you are the alpha of unity, the omega of unity, and everything will be great. I watch all those meetings. People drink their laptops and are being what? Pastors are writing their sermons. A man are preparing for the next course. And you think people are hearing you. And not guys are sleeping. Write a few memos. If people read everything for you every morning, every day, they get tired. At what time they just stop. When you speak, let it have weight. When you write, let it have weight. Avoid monologues. When the data is too colonialized, too everywhere, it becomes a person that has no goal. Don't make everything about the team. We. What do you think? Then don't miss what is special in your staff. Don't miss it. Years ago, I was in UK, and I met an army coming. And I said, people will still overthrow Bandera. And the man called me, they won't. I said, what? He said, Bandera will just be in a parade. And just meet one of the soldiers. I said, Sergeant, this. I heard the word get back. I'm sorry I didn't come. Lieutenant, the other one. He said, do you think people overthrow this kind of thing? Because he has the common touch. Don't miss what is master the art of communication. You know it, but master it again. Don't make enemies. Never demonize anyone. We are all humans. We are all fallible. We are all weak beings. We are a combination of good and bad. We must help people navigate through life with emotion and with heart. Don't miss the opportunity to say to your people you care, thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for making this meeting available. Thank you for allowing us to be one of the best institutions in this place. Thank you for, don't always say thank you. Someone said the main duty of the leader is to identify where he's going. The next duty of the leader is to say thank you. Keep to your mission and goal. Work on your mindset and avoid dangerous stereotypes. You see, your mindset is a lot, and insight is actually blind sight, because many people don't see it. Somehow it is you that is the problem, so have that insight. Keep your mouth under lock and key. Be their ears and not their mouth. Avoid messing around. It creates a mess and muddle your mission and mock your achievements. Mixed everything with faith. Everybody that has talked, including my dear friend, Alaji, I should be Alaji, I don't know who that was. Yes. Talk about God. Talk about the power of God. So I don't need to, I'm not a pastor. We need God. We need a heavenly energy. You need all of us to pray for you every time. And you need to pray for yourself too. Have an institutional mindset. Be a master of delegation, not relegation. People will know you that you are relegated. You do this, you do this, you do this, and you do nothing. And then you keep on relegating things. No, don't. Be a master of delegation. And when you delegate, supervise, or not necessarily be overbearing. Don't mock the people or process that brought you to power. Whether you like it or not, somebody talked about you. Somebody put you in this position. You have a senior mentor. You have the patriarch of the family. You have some of us. And every other person. So don't forget us. Always think about that. Always ask, how am I doing? Either formally or informally. Pay people well. And I want to say this here. Doctors don't pay people well. Now, Arogundade is a very good friend of mine. And I'm going to say something. Why I'm happy with him is that I'm going to throw my last point. I'll say, when Prof. Abiola became, I don't know what they call it in chief exam, what they call it in chief examiner or something, talk. Then he invited me to speak. And I spoke about the two colleges and so on. Very good, nice, and wait off. Then recently, he called all the college people and then he talked, and invited myself and one other vice chancellor to speak. I had a letter from the station, I didn't see it. So he now called me, I was in the US by then. He said, he said, the man has not called me back. So I know you will respond, so that I write. I spent time preparing. My son and I, at 1 a.m., we began to work. So my son had to go and sleep. So I started speaking at 2 a.m. I leave at 3. Then I waited and waited for Colorado, and it came, it was 40,000. Sincerely speaking, when I go to international places to speak, I'm getting not less than $1,000. Now, that used to happen in West Africa. People are kept with bad records, people are giving bad honoring, until one chief examiner changed things. And people are now beginning to pick, one chief examiner, I would say the second of the college, the chairman, look, we deserve more. We deserve to have stay in good hotels. We deserve to be paid good honorarium. The reason is this. All our lives is spent in medicine. We don't have real estates. We don't have a secondary assignment. Even if we want to, we don't have. How many of us here rely on houses? How many of you have estates? But if I compare to my colleagues, they have houses everywhere. Not that we should be flamboyant, but you must. And my dear friend, you are not the president. Not your president to wear down. You must go there and change things. Always be grateful. Now, I want to say a few comments, because everybody has said everything about Prof. Arogundade. Now, right from the time of Arogundade, the wrestling, and the words in my own village, right from there, I saw him have the chest skills. He was aggressive. And one of the first papers that were written into bureaucracies among us was among the best 10 papers cited in the world. And I can tell you, he worked very hard. He was always working, always interested in everything, in everybody's growth. And I want to say that when we had a time in our investment, we had to elect, was it 18 or something, and he told me, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even pray, but I said, if it's only me, I was supposed to. Then later that candidate speak, who were actually close, even closer than me than him. Lord cases and told me, I said, Paul, I know the potentials are right, but please give me that one vote. Don't make the bit to Arogundade. Because I know nobody knows. I said, every time nobody knows, my heart knows, that God knows. Now, when later the result did not favor, I called him, I saw her and smiled about it. He just smiled. And I said, this man will go places. When Terry entered the college, he was then the chief examiner. I said, look, it's only this problem of West Africa. I see some patients, they say, I'm a West Africa patient. I said, see the way of harmonizing this. You know, the Royal College harmonized, the Royal College invites people. So he said, I will do something about it. Usually, I hope that only smiles after he said so. But he didn't do anything. They now told me, I cannot do it. So, any getter, let us look. This time, I won't take your smile. You must do something about this. And lo and behold, I say, if you do something about it, this thing will remember you. And you throw me barriers. No barriers. I have more benefited from it, but I never applied. People without TNP, West Africa and National Assembly, higher degree or person. He told me that when he became the registrar, I've always told you that the problem with academics is that they have great IQ, but they don't have good EQ. We are trained to study medicine. We are not trained to relate to human beings. We are trained to be skillful with science, but we are not trained to manage the nuances of human relation. When we occupy position, we think clinically like the doctor. We don't think like the social scientist. And I said, look, there's a need for you to educate people on this aspect. And if possible, institutionalize it. And if possible, create a leadership curriculum. And he bought this idea. And when I finished speaking, the president of the college there said, I can see Arogundade in what you say. You remember? So I want to wish you well. I want to pray that God will help you. I want to pray that you succeed. And every one of us, one of us who are growing here, please, we have an example. We have a model. We have people who never forget their roots. Arogundade doesn't forget their roots. We have people who don't fight. But even if they fight well. Arogundade is my friend, but he doesn't agree with me many things. And the problem is I've taken two different divides. But here we have remained friends. So being your friend doesn't mean you should be different. So I want to encourage you young ones. Here you find an inspiration. Here you find someone who is not ethnically challenged. He has no religious. I am way there. I can be described as a fanatic Christian. You know? And he has a lot of people who can be described as a fanatic Muslim. And two of them made no difference. I remember there was a meeting we had. I said, let Professor Rocco give us a word of exhortation. I was surprised. I said, let him give us some Bible of wisdom. That is who he is. And that is what we should become. I pray that God will make you what you are. There are some available books on the internet which you can use. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I know it's down on the show.